You want to get a home playoff game. You got to beat teams like this. I'm trying to call Cleveland a JV teams. They do have a good defense, and they got some pieces on offense. But again, they're 3-10 for a reason. You got to take advantage of them. This is kind of a must win because you got to keep pace. And you got the Packers going to Denver. So they could very well end up losing that game.
It's finna be a cold weekend, dog. They say the wind chill finna have it feel like -20 on the lake for kickoff on Sunday. I got free tickets, Q. Clear your calendar. We up there on Sunday, dog. We
We?
got to support the Bears. Bet
We.
out.
We. Who is the we? You speak French now?
We.
Now,
No, we. This is American we.
we gonna go down. We gonna go down to the lakefront and we gonna find a nice warm bar. That's who we gonna support the Bears from. We ain't going inside that stadium.
You overlove the Bears.
You love them real bad.
For one, if you go to this game, for two, if you sit in that upper bowl, like the 300 level, oh, you overlove the Bears, G. I couldn't do it. I love nothing that much. You got to pay me to do that.
Basically, you got to be on a roster making $5 million a year for you to be down there on the lakefront. And I agree with you.
Only people that should be there be the ones in the suites, and people getting paid to be there.
That's it.
And other than that, you're a crazy person leaving anywhere that's going to be heated. Come the weekend, it's going to be cold than a month. I mean, this is Chicago, right? This type of weather, it builds character. This is why we enjoy the summer so much. But
you need the DJ drop that this is Chicago. You need that drop when you say this is Chicago.
I need that drop. Right. I mean, that's about the Chicago anthem. They need to put that on the flag. But that's why we enjoy the summer so much, because of days like that. But I'm gonna let somebody else do it this time.
Smart man. Thoughts and prayers to Shedeur Sanders this weekend. He is from Tyler, Texas, and he's going to play quarterback in this. Raised in Texas, then went to Jackson State, then had a little piece of a high-end bias at Colorado. When Dennis Allen sends that blitz and he gets hit, he ain't going to want to be out there no more.
I don't blame him. But thoughts and prayers, not just to him, but thoughts and prayers to any former head football coaches of a certain Big Ten team. Because right about now, this ain't the right time to be getting kicked out the crib, dog. It's cold outside.
It's cold out. What's up with Michigan and Big Ten football coaches and not keeping their little wee-wees in their pants? What is happening there in Michigan? How good is the coochie in Michigan that you're willing to risk your job? We've seen coochies
not just
take out the brothers at Michigan and Michigan State. What's going on in the coochies in Michigan?
Mel Tucker, Jerron Moore, brothers. They got to Michigan and lost their mind. I don't know what they putting in the hoo-has up there in Michigan, but it needs to be studied, because there would be there's no way. As long as I've been a sports fan, Michigan has seen a rule and said, you know what? That rule will be much better if it was broken. Michigan has been on that for decades. But
shout out Jim Harbaugh too.
Yep. The king of breaking the rules. This is a major sidebar. But Jim Harbaugh, he's a former Bears quarterback, so he tracks. He tracks right now. Have you heard that since Jim Harbaugh was hired, 7 of his staffers have been arrested? Jerome Moore is just the latest.
Not a surprise.
He's still locked up.
We waiting on Jim. Well, he's warm at least. At least he's warm. I wonder what his wife and kids are thinking while they're at the house. Like, what is dinner like at the house? And talking about where daddy's at.
With the white bitch. So this is exactly why you're supposed to cheat in the summer. They call it cuffing season for a reason, dog. You're supposed to be at the crib when it's cold outside. You don't want to be outside in your drawers with nothing but a garbage bag full of clothes and PlayStation. That's not cool right now. But Michigan sports, like I said, they cheat all year round. Ben Johnson, when speaking into media this week, he said this game is I'm not a direct quote, but he did say it's a must win.
We have goals, and we know what's out in front of us, and so it's just that awareness that every game matters. Every game matters, and that's where this week, you go from an emotional rivalry game like we just played. This week is equally important. We need this win. We desperately need this win.
It's very important because after this game, you got three of the better teams in the conference. You're wrapping up with the 49ers, the Packers, and the Lions. So this is the one where you wanna I don't wanna disrespect the Browns, but they're 3-10. They're 3-10 for a reason. They're a flawed team. They're trying to figure it out. And when you're a good team, you got to beat teams like this. You got to get your passing game going. You got to get your kinks going. I'm not trying to call Cleveland a JV teams. They do have a good defense, and they got some pieces on offense. But again, they're 3-10 for a reason. You got to take advantage of them. You're at home, um, in bear weather. Yeah, this is kind of a must win because you got to keep pace, and you got the Packers going to Denver, so they could very well end up losing that game. You want to get a home playoff game.
Let's preview this game. The 9-4 Bears, 7th in the playoff standings for the NFC, hosting the 3-10 Cleveland Browns. You know the leaders for the Browns. Well, maybe you don't know because this is their third quarterback. Dylan Gabriel actually leads the team in passing yards so far with 7 touchdowns. He has 937 yards on the season. I think he's going to end his season with that same amount of total. Who's going to start the rest of the season? Errol Fannin is their number one wide receiver, 59 catches for 619 yards, 4 scores. And Quinshawn Judkins, more on him later, is their number one rushing attack. 210 carries, 784 yards, 7 TDs himself. Those Bears. You all know the drill. Caleb Williams, 2,908 yards passing, 19 touchdowns through the air. Roma Dunze, 44 catches, 661 yards, 6 TDs. It will remain to be seen if he plays this game. And DeAndre Swift is the RB1, best in the league rushing attack. 173 carries, 837 yards, 5 touchdowns on the season. Cleveland Browns have won the last 2 games in the series against the Bears, 2023 and 2021. But the Bears have won 3 of the last 5. The Bears are a 7.5 point favorite. Total 8.5 now, according to DraftKings.
Whoa, that's a low total to have a 7.5 favorite in there.
It's very it's tricky. It's a tricky game to bet.
That means they don't expect the Browns offense to do much at all.
Ooh, we're going to talk about that. Yeah, you see where this is going, Q. Let's talk about the injury report as we go into this game. It seems like this is always the roughest part of these preview episodes, Q, because every week is somebody we have to have is on this player, and we're like, man, I don't know if he's gonna play or not, and like, we kind of need him for this game. So starting off, I think we want to talk about the guy who missed last week that was most important, and that's Roma Dunze. Roma Dunze was limited all this week, Wednesday and Thursday, with his foot injury. Scale of 1 to 5, are you more optimistic that he might play this week?
I don't even know where to rank that. Rome he's been kind of beat up for the last, seems like 7-8 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not more beat up than that wall he hit.
Yeah, that too. And then out of nowhere, he doesn't play. The Bears are it's so mysterious with these Bears injuries. I can't be confident at all that he's gonna play. I can't. And he's battling a heel, right?
Yeah, it's his heel.
That Soldier Field, that Soldier Field turf probably is gonna feel like concrete with as cold as it's gonna be. Oh man, I feel for him. How is he gonna plant? So I wish I had more information to give you an accurate grade. I'm in the dark. I don't know.
The good thing is that if you've been following along, we've been trending down on these preview episodes as far as names on the actual injury report. Remember, 1 week we had 16, and it slowly went down to 12 and 10. So we only got 7. Other than Roma Dunze, we got Kyler Gordon, Travis Homer, Tyreek Stevenson, Olamide Zaccheaus, Ruben Hippolyte, and Jalen Johnson, all on the injury report. Jalen Johnson, another groin. But yeah, but he's
can't
been
make this
full
up.
participant. He's been a full participant this week, though. So I mean, even though he's back on there for a groin, he wasn't on the injury report last week. Wasn't at all. But he's back on there this week with a groin. There's a lot I want to talk about with this injury report. But
What
first and
are teams
foremost,
doing with their groins? Tremaine
I
Edmonds, Tyler Gordon, Jalen Johnson.
since you asked the question, if they were using their groins in the same way that Sharon Moore was using his, would you be more upset or less upset? Seeing as how they got injured with doing whatever they were doing.
You know what? I don't like to watch another man's groin. When those men play for the Chicago Bears, their groins I feel like belong to me. These are my groins. These are the Chicago Bears groins. Be responsible with your groins. Yes, I care what you do with your groins when you're a Chicago Bear. When you're not a Chicago Bear, you can do whatever you want to do with your groin. But that groin belongs to Chicago. That belongs to me now. Be careful with it. No diddy.
I think you drove way past that one. I think you
I
passed the
go too
point of
far.
saying that. You went too far. Side note, what did Lil Rod mean when he kept saying he woke up feeling sore? But anyway, we'll come back to that later. Kyler Gordon, I think him and Jalen Johnson, they deserve their own little special segment right now. Kyler Gordon, he was DMP both days this week with the groin injury that took him out of the game last week. That he injured in warmups. And as I said, Jalen Johnson's on the injury report right now, even though he's been fully participant. Can you imagine the immediate future? Maybe not now, but soon, next year, where neither one of these players on the Bears?
Tyler Gordon and who else?
Jalen Johnson.
No, I think Jalen will still be there. I think the Bears are willing to give Kyler Gordon another chance. He just signed this contract, but at a certain point, your best ability becomes your availability. And Kyler, man, it's multiple injuries. It's not just this year. It's over the duration of his career. When does the patience run thin with Kyler Gordon? I mean, you're not getting a return on your investment right now. And his future as far as this season is completely murky. When do we start having a Kyler Gordon discussion?
I think the discussion is going to be has already started. If I'm just using what I would assume that a smart front office would be doing, they would already be thinking like, all right, look, so this guy may not be dependable. What's our options? And when we get into the offseason? I would think that's already started to happen. Now, this year has been soft tissue, hamstring, and now the groin. Yeah, he's probably going to end up on IR again. I don't know if we'll see him no more this season.
It sounds it ain't sounding good about seeing
Right.
him the rest of the season.
Last year it was the hamstring again. That cost him a lot of games. And before that, he broke his hand. So I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, yeah, it's not like these like it's constant, twist of the ankle, constant knee issues. Shout out to Michael Penix. Was constant soft tissue stuff like hamstrings or groins and like that. It's been a mixture, but they gave him the money. I mean, at some point you gotta say, hey man, you got to be on the field for us. You got to earn that check.
Yeah, Jalen Johnson is not as injured as Kyler Gordon, but he's missed a lot of time too the last 3 years.
Not only has he missed a lot of time, when he's been here, he hasn't lived up to that number that he's wearing on his chest. And number one, I don't know. I may be a bad Bears fan for pointing this out, but he ain't shutting down no more. You know what I'm saying? Last year we gave him a pass because last year was just shitty all around for everybody. But he didn't have a good year last year, and this year, and you could probably give him a pass for this year because he's been working his way back from not having training camp.
Yeah.
He's working his way back from being a groin, but he ain't. When he's been on the field, he's been he's been okay. He ain't been a number one
Yeah.
defensive back. But I think next year will be the test for him. But we ain't really seen what we expect out of number one in some years. And
since probably 2023.
Right. And I don't know,
I think
man.
last year was a bad year for him. It wasn't
a year that we expect from him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
But
again, I mean, the locker room turned on Eberflus. And it was, if you remember, it was him that started it. It was him that called Eberflus out for the way that Eberflus responded to that loss against Detroit. Like it was Thanksgiving. He's the one that
I think Jalen wanted to beat him. He wanted to put hands on Eberflus for the Detroit fiasco.
Yeah, that's what got Eberflus fired. He got his players cussing him out in front of his bosses. Can't have that. Can't have that. You can't have a meeting with people that you manage, and then your boss is right behind you, and then the people that you manage is cussing you out. Like, whoa.
Yeah. And you getting cussed out, and it's your fault.
Yeah, that's double way to get yourself fired. You don't have a control of the room, and you suck. Shout out to Eberflus though. That's the Bears injury report. The Cleveland Browns have 20 guys. 20 guys
20.
on the injury list, right? 20. Let's see.
Is Myles Garrett on there? Please put him on there. Only two places I want Myles Garrett. Either on the injury report for this week or on the Bears. It's only two places.
Bear down. Hey, that's a bar. That's a bar. Jack Conklin, one of their good tackles, has not practiced all this week with a concussion. I'm not expecting to see him out there. Grant Delpit, one of their rookies, right? He didn't practice Wednesday and was limited on Thursday. Mason Graham has not practiced this week. Shelby Harris, he's been limited this week. Some other names. Your boy, Tevin Jenkins.
Oh, Tevin.
Right where we expect him to be on the injury list.
Right where he's been to be.
He's been limited with his shoulder injury. David Njoku, standout tight end, but he's had a little bit of regression this year with all the quarterback carousel that they got going on in Cleveland. He's on the injury list as well. He has not practiced this week. Dylan Sampson, a running back, not practiced this week. Cedric Tillman, one of their standout wide receivers. He's had a concussion as well, has not practiced this week. Denzel Ward, I know everybody knows that name. He's been an All-Pro before. He's dealing with a calf injury, has not practiced this week. Deshaun Watson, we ain't got to talk about it. And the last name on this list that I think everybody would know is Rashawn Jenkins, butt injury, limited participant all week. Q, we did not hear the name that we wanted to hear, Myles Garrett. We would prefer that he would not be available for this game, but hey, you can't make a diamond without going through a little bit of pressure, right? So we're going to have to get it out the mud. We hoped that he would have already broke the sack record before this game. He's 3 away. I think let's start there in our preview. Let's talk about the Bears offense versus their defense. And I do want to start with Myles Garrett. He's 3 sacks away from breaking TJ Watt's record. That's right. I call it TJ Watt's record because Strahan, he ain't get it honest. He ain't get it honest. That's an asterisk on his name.
Look who he was dealing with. Look who he was dealing with.
The thief.
A Packard.
Even worse. Myles Garrett has had a sack in 7 straight games. Caleb has taken a sack in 7 of his last 8 games, but no more than 2 in any game. Over under, Q. 1.5 sacks for Myles Garrett on Sunday.
I don't think he breaks the sack record against us. I think Caleb is too elusive. I think Ben Johnson. I think there's going to be a lot of attention played to Myles. I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna have faith in under 1.5, and that will be a win if you limit him to 1 sack.
Yeah, I agree. Remember we talked about TJ Watt after the Bears game against the Steelers. TJ Watt's one of them guys. Caleb is good at getting away from guys who ain't really developed their repertoire yet as an elite pass rusher. TJ Watt step on the board. When I get to you, you going down. He's got the moves. He's got the technique.
I'm not going to get too excited. I'm not falling for these duck unders, this bob and weave. TJ, nah. He's too nuanced for that. He's too skilled for that.
Right. TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, same beast, different animal, right? Myles Garrett, he's better than TJ Watt. He's a better athlete than TJ Watt. He's stronger than TJ Watt, bigger than TJ Watt. That's why he's going to get his second DPOY this year. It's going to be hell of pay. Isaac Trapillo,
Man,
Darnell
put your big
Wright.
boy pants on, Ozzy. Put your big boy pants on.
We're gonna need to see all that. Oh wow. let me rephrase that. You're gonna need to play your height and size and size. You're the mountain. I'm gonna need you to stay in front of in front of Myles. Make Myles have to run a mile to get around you.
See, the thing about Myles is he could go through you too. This guy's doing anything out there. Did you see the one sack where they tried to double team him and he Euro stepped through the double team? This is just ridiculous stuff he's doing. Like, I don't know how you defend him. I think with TJ Watt, you want to get more physical with him. I'm not saying TJ's soft, but he like you said, he's not nearly as big as Myles. I think when you get your hands on TJ, you control him a little bit more. I don't know what you do to Myles. He could bull rush you. He could speed rush you. He could swim you. He could spin. He can juke you. Like there's sometimes where he looks like a wide receiver coming up the line where he's just putting on a shifty move and getting to the quarterback. He's got the complete package. I think he's the most complete edge rusher I've ever seen. In my lifetime, I've seen Reggie White, I've seen Lawrence Taylor, I've seen Bruce Smith, I've seen Richard Dent, Julius Peppers, and JJ and TJ Watt. I think Myles is the most complete one I've ever seen.
I would agree. He's one of the greatest pass rushers ever. And that's no slight to any of the pass. Myles Garrett is just built different. Speaking of Myles Garrett, his prime target, Caleb Williams, my boy. Biggest critique on Caleb, completion percentage. We talk about it every week. The Browns have allowed 60% completion percentage to only 7 quarterbacks this season. And it's only been once since their week 9 bye. Now, for context, because you all called me glazing last week when I gave you all the numbers. For context, the quarterbacks that the Browns have faced since their bye have been Cam Ward, Brock Purdy, Lamar Jackson, and Justin Fields. There's nuance to put in those numbers, right? Lamar Jackson is coming back from an injury. He ain't looked too good ever since he came back from
neither is Purdy.
Right. Neither is Purdy. And Cam Ward is a rookie. Even though he has a higher completion percentage than Caleb Williams on the season. And Justin Fields, we don't need to get into it. I think Justin Fields was
my condolences and my thoughts and prayers to Justin Fields. Justin has had some rough outings this year. Some rough half. I'm rooting for my boy Justin. Sometimes it's better to be a backup than go and start for the Jets or the Browns. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna put it to you like that.
Man, we ain't gotta talk about Justin Fields. So I think we already know what's in front of him for the remainder of his football career. But Caleb Williams has completed under 60% in 9 of his last 10 games. Scale of 1 to 5, Q. Your confidence level in Caleb completing 6 out of every 10 passes on Sunday.
About a 2. These are some good corners. And I know Martin Emerson, one of their other really good corners. He's on injured reserve right now, so that's a relief. But you still got Denzel Ward. They got Tyson Campbell from the Jaguars a few weeks ago in the trade. He's another really good corner. They're a tough secondary. Grant Delpit back there. They're a really good secondary, and they're aided in part by, well, in large part, to a front seven that's able to get pressure on the quarterback. Myles Garrett is obviously the star of the defense, but you have to remember another guy that's having a pretty good year, very solid player, is Mason Graham, a guy from Michigan who was a very good prospect coming into the draft. Interior guy who collapses the pocket, puts pressure up the middle. So they're a load to deal with. So I think if Caleb Williams is averaging a little less than 60% completion percentage, I'm not very confident that he will exceed that against one of the better pass defenses and defenses in general in the NFL, especially in the weather conditions. It's going to be an ice bowl.
Yeah, it's not gonna be easy, dog.
Do you know the winds?
It's supposed to be 9 miles per hour
Oh, that's not
on
too bad.
Sunday. Yeah,
That's not too bad.
not too bad. Okay.
I mean, in Chicago, that wind could get up to 20 miles an hour, so especially off the lakefront.
Yeah. I mean, it has been worse, but that's still pretty bad. Every name you named right there, Q. Tyson Campbell, Grant Delpit, Mason Graham, Denzel Ward, they're all on the injury report. Like I said, Denzel Ward is dealing with a calf, has not practiced all week.
Oh, he hasn't practiced all week?
Hasn't practiced all week. Mason Graham has not practiced all week with his rib injury. Grant Delpit has logged a limited on Thursday. And Tyson Campbell, he has a shoulder injury. He's been limited both days of practice. So
if you tell me Denzel Ward doesn't play, I'm moving my confidence in Caleb completing 60% to a 3. I'm moving it up. Denzel Ward, one of the truly very good corners in this league, who doesn't get his flowers to where he plays at. You know, you're in Cleveland, you're not getting primetime games, you're not getting a lot of attention, you're not getting to the playoffs, you're not getting enough bright lights. Man, I really like Jalen Johnson. Denzel Ward's been a better corner the last couple of years. Denzel Ward's, from my observations watching NFL, Denzel Ward's been one of the top. He's been one of the top 5 corners the last couple of years.
I don't know if I hold Denzel Ward in that high of esteem, but yeah, he is a pretty good corner. He's very good.
You look at what he does in man. He's one of the stickiest corners in man coverage around.
Caleb has an opportunity to complete 60% on the field, 60% passes this game, off the strength that I don't think there's going to be a lot of passes thrown. I think it's going to be a running game. You did mention it's going to be an ice ball, right? I think the Bears are going to lean on that, a rushing game, and try to set up some play action, stuff like that. The only problem is that Caleb has to be in a rhythm and play on time. As you saw in this last game against the Packers, he didn't complete his first pass damn the second quarter. He came out the tunnel cold, and literally and figuratively. So this game, if he's going to complete 60%, he's going to have to play on schedule, because I do think the play call is going to be in favor of trying to protect them and try to outmuscle the Cleveland Browns. As I bring that up, after people got over that final play from last week, the conversation then moved to where DJ has gone in the offense. Only 1 catch on 3 targets.
Man, -4 yards.
And that's without Rome in the offense, because Rome had missed that game. You know how these message boards, I just aged myself. You know how these social media conversations go. People are only trained to talk about the negativity and the friction, and people swear that Caleb and DJ are beefing just because of the lack of productivity from DJ this year.
I've seen some ridiculous takes. I saw several that said Caleb purposely doesn't throw to DJ, even if in a game-winning situation, that he doesn't like DJ that much that he'll sacrifice his statistics and a touchdown to overlook DJ.
Why? You have the same arguments from people that swear that the Browns are sabotaging Shador. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
These are the same people who think the earth is flat too.
What's your opinion, though, on DJ's involvement in this offense as we've seen this season?
I don't think there's some plot by Caleb to sabotage DJ, but I do think there's definitely some chemistry and some communication issues between DJ and Caleb. I also think that Caleb, as opposed to Justin was more willing to give DJ those 50-50 balls to fight for it. Caleb doesn't trust DJ with the 50-50 balls. And I know DJ's not your prototype for the guys you want to throw a 50-50 ball to. He's 5'11", 6 foot, not really long. But DJ, in his career shows he can catch those contested passes. I would like Caleb to give him more opportunities. I think DJ's involvement in the offense, one of the issues has been that the passing game just hasn't been clicking, and the running game has. And Ben Johnson and the Bears have leaned on the running game. So there's been less opportunities in the passing game. I think there's also lots of mouths to feed. I think all of these come into play when you talk about DJ. I don't think DJ has played his best football either. I don't think his routes have been as crisp. I don't think he's got the separation that he was getting a couple years ago. So I think all of these factors come into play with DJ's role in the offense. He's also seen about 3 or 4 different offensive coordinators in the last 4 years. And when you see multiple different coordinators, you're in multiple different schemes, multiple different offenses, multiple different game plans. So I think Luke Getsy, there was a concerted effort with Getsy and Fields to get the ball to DJ Moore, to make him the primary target on a lot of routes. It just hasn't been the same with these other coordinators that we've seen lately.
I'm with you. I don't necessarily believe there's some type of underground narrative, not narrative, but intentional way to sabotage DJ's numbers. 'Cause, I mean, if they didn't, if it was anything like that, we definitely heard about it, right? But even through all of this, even through DJ and Caleb struggling to connect, DJ is still second on the team in targets. He's still second on the team in receptions. And after last year, he led the team in targets. So the narrative of that Caleb is actually, intentionally sabotaging DJ, the numbers don't bear out. But also, I mentioned the running game earlier. I mentioned that I expect this game to be heavy focus on the run. So which means that the opportunity for Caleb to get 4,000 yards gets even slimmer because I don't think he ain't gonna get to the 260 he needs to average. He ain't gonna get
No.
260 this year,
Yeah.
this week. I don't see it happening because this is gonna be a running game. Cleveland's defense, they are the league's best run defense, but the Bears are the league's best run offense when we talk about success rate. I'm going to ask you a question. Obviously, bear down, right? But who would you favor in this matchup? Bears rushing offense or the Cleveland's rushing defense?
Bears rushing offense. I've seen them win the matchup week after week, even when defenses are intentionally focused on stopping them. And if Mason Graham doesn't play, that's a huge advantage towards the Bears, who they're going to be coming in with a healthy offensive line. I'm favoring the Bears until I see a team stop them. Or I see the Bears slow down, and then in this weather, uh, I really like the Bears. You're not going to be wanting to tackle Kyle Monunga in this weather. That's not going to be the bowling ball you want to run into this week. Not at all.
Wouldn't it be something that Cal Monunga blew up Myles Garrett helmet? Just exploded his helmet.
You
That
know
probably
what?
wouldn't stop Myles Garrett though. So I mean,
Myles Garrett is about Thanos. I don't think you want to run into that man. I don't
you're
know if
right.
that's happening.
Thanos don't need a helmet.
Yeah, good point. Well, let me add one thing. The Browns' run defense been showing some chinks in the armor the last few weeks. Tony Pollard put belt to them last week. Tony put some belt to them, and
Right.
and Tony wasn't doing anything. So, shout out to the people that owned him in fantasy. You would know more than anybody. Tony hasn't been doing nothing. So let me add that in. I'm confident the Bears will be able to get their way running the ball against Cleveland.
I got that man in 3 different leagues, thinking he was going to
And
be the
he
sleeper of
waited
the
till
year.
now. Did you
Waited to
keep
win.
him? Did you keep him in
You
all
can't.
those leagues?
You don't cut running backs. Opportunity is the most valuable thing in fantasy football. RB1, no matter how bad the offense is, he's still an RB1.
Yeah.
Right. You have to wait till a better running back becomes available, and then you can make the swap. Every week in and week out, 7 points, 8 points. I'm like, I can't keep starting this, dog. I can't keep starting this. He's not. There's got to be better flex options. I can't keep
Yeah.
starting this out here. But in two of them leagues that I got him in, I ain't make the playoffs, and then look what he does. Like, I'm already eliminated. Oh wow, now you bust out to like 30, huh? All right, thanks, Tony. Get
And
the
the
hell off
thing
my
is,
squad. But yeah, you're right.
I got to look back at that game, and that looked like the explosive Tony from 2023. Like he
Mm-hmm.
finally got the spring back in his legs this week. I'm like, wow, Tony Pollard.
Against this defense.
Yeah, against this defense.
I'm gonna go with you, and not just because of Tony Pollard, what he did last week, but the Browns are the only defense in the league that will load the box in over half of the snaps they have against the run. Basically, they sniff out run, they drop into safety, right? The Bears are the best rushing offense overall in the league, and they also the best against loaded boxes.
That motion and that misdirection will eat you up every time. You load that box and you just
Mm-hmm.
gonna get caught in that wash, and you gonna be in the middle of a tsunami. I don't know if you do want to load the box against the Bears run when they run the ball, because I don't know if getting that close to the line of scrimmage allows your safeties and backers to see what's going on and what's developing.
Mm-hmm.
I think the best thing might be to send some late run blitzes. Let me not spill too much salt on how to stop the Bears run offense, but I don't know. Yeah, the Browns putting that safety in a box, that could be the Bears also lead the NFL in explosive runs, correct?
They
By a
still
lot.
do, even though they didn't have one last week. They still do.
Yeah, for the first time in a long time. That could be a disaster for the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be why Tony Pollard broke that 60-yarder against them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Bears are Ben Johnson, Declan Doyle, and Eric Bieniemy. They've been cooking up some stuff. That was, like I said, the motions and that the misdirections to attack that DB on the island, get a bunch of people caught up in the wash, as you said. It'll be perfect. It'll be perfect symmetry to have the Cleveland front 8, front 9 even get caught up in that wash. Plus, as we already pointed out, Tony Pollard whooped their ass last week. If he can do it, DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monunga can do it too.
Yep.
Even though the Browns are the league's best rushing defense, in their last 6 games, they've been getting carved up on the ground. The Patriots gave it to them. The Jets gave it to them. Baltimore gave it to them. And the Titans last week gave it to them. Per game, they've given up 37 yards per game. And with, in total, 823 yards on the ground. That's crazy.
823?
And 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, because Tony went for about 150. I think Derek went for 120. That's about 300 right there in 2 games. So
the Titans rushed for 184 yards. Yeah, Derrick Henry and them, another 184. That's had 127. The Patriots had 177. So, yeah. That's last 6 games. So, the Bears been running on everybody. And, I mean, they didn't have explosive plays against the Packers, but, I mean, they wasn't bottled up.
No, they ran for 132 yards.
And respectable yards per carry. So, that's what they do against the Packers.
They got a good run defense. The Packers' run defense has been good.
Mm-hmm. Let's segue to the Browns' offense, to the Bears' defense. Now, I don't think we talk about the Browns' offense without talking about the number one guy that everyone talks about with the Browns. Quinshon Judkins. That was a joke. The only person that people talk about as it relates to the Browns is Shedeur Sanders.
Which is crazy because they have 2 of the biggest star rookies on both sides of the ball in Junkins and Mason Graham. And Shedeur is the only one that matters.
Yeah. Hey, you got to flash that watch. They don't flash watches like Shedeur do. Now, for me, I ain't no Shedeur Sanders fan. I'm gonna get out there right now with that. But I'm not saying I'm a hater. I'm just saying I don't follow him and all that he does.
Most of the people who are Shedeur fans don't follow him either. The trend of the narrative of the conspiracy.
Yeah, they're that. And, you know, they're fans of Deion, which is cool. I'm a fan of Deion, too. I grew up watching Deion. I love Deion.
That was my favorite corner. Favorite corner growing up. He was
one of my
all
favorite
our
players.
Corners. He was all our favorite players.
If you grew up in the 90s, Deion was your guy, right?
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Deion, the football player. Deion, the dad. Deion, the personality on TV. Deion, the coach. Hit or miss. I only like Primetime. Primetime was my guy. All the other versions of Deion, I mean, it's not really. I'm not really flowing into that. Take that how you want to take it. So anyway, I only watched a handful of Colorado games, and only this last game just so I can prep for this. Right. The one thing that's always been said about Shador is that he takes too many sacks.
Yes, he does.
Good thing for him, the Bears don't generate a lot of them.
But they might get some on him. He might be generous with them.
Well, in his last 2 starts, he has an 84.1 passing grade in a clean pocket with 9 yards per attempt and no turnovers. What should the plan be for Dennis Allen to make sure this defense is not exposed on Sunday against Shador Sanders?
You have to get pressure on Shador Sanders. And
How?
the pressure that you want
Because
to
they
get,
can't do it.
listen, you draw up blitzes. Shador, for all of his flaws, in that clean pocket, that boy can throw the ball. And in all fairness, the majority of starting quarterbacks in the NFL, if you give them a clean pocket, they will pick you apart. Even the average ones, even the backups, they are professionals at the highest level. If you give Mason, what's the kid we played for the Steelers, Mason Rudolph, if you give him a clean pocket, he's gonna burn you. So I think with Shador, he had a wonderful game against the Titans. But and man, the Shador fans be killing me online because I don't see him as a elite quarterback prospect with a high upside. So don't hate me, Shador lovers, but I know the game against the Titans was y'all, was y'all Super Bowl. But a lot of the yardage came in the second half. The game kind of with them had the game was never really out of reach, but they were in pure throwing situations. They had to throw. A lot of those yards came then. So I've had a few friends. They don't know if they're Bear fans or Shador fans or Deion fans, like you said. Shador's going to shred the Bears
Disgusting.
defense. I don't see that happening. I think what Dennis Allen needs to do is the same thing he did when he saw Spencer Rattler, a young, inexperienced quarterback, disguise coverages, give him the cover 3 looks, and give him these blitzes and show him various looks at the line of scrimmage, mug the A gaps, have pressure coming off the corner, have guys stunt, have guys drop into coverage from the line. I think you do that, and I think we can get out of there with a very good defensive performance. I'm not convinced that Shador's week against the Titans was some turning point. I think he's still the Shador we saw that came in against the Ravens. He's still the Shador we saw against the 49ers. And even in the win against the Raiders, which is an awful defense, I think we saw him throw an interception in that game. I think Shador against the Bears defense, you leave with 2 interceptions. You leave with 2 turnovers, and you leave with a handful of sacks. That's what you do.
Shador, yeah, he's a rookie quarterback. You said it right. You give anybody a clean pocket, they're gonna probably cut you up. Over under Q 1.5 touchdowns for Shador Sanders. Throwing. It's a good number. That's a good bet. I like that too. One, the elements. I don't think it's gonna be enough of a passing offense for either team. So with that being said, I'm gonna talk about the rushing offense for the Browns because I don't think there's much meat on the bone for Shador Sanders. He's not a good rookie quarterback. He may be good for Cleveland, but for everybody else, not a good rookie quarterback yet. I'm not calling him a bust. I'm not calling him JJ McCarthy. I'm just saying I don't think the Bears should be overly concerned with Shador Sanders. They should be overly concerned with the Browns in general because this is a trap game. It has all the makings of a trap game. But the offense for the Browns is not the biggest concern. And since we're talking about the offense, Browns' rushing game is led by Quayshawn Junkins. Junkins, you was really high on him in the pre-draft process, Q.
Yeah, wanted him bad. I liked him. Liked him as much as I liked any running back in the class.
Mm-hmm. He's as I said, on the season, he's got 700 and some odd yards so far this season. He's
lead
not
all
having a
rookie
bad rookie
running backs?
season.
Does he lead all rookie running backs in rushing yards?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I know he's got more than Ashton Johnson. He has more than Ashton Johnson. I know he has more than Cal Monungai. Omarion Hampton, he's been out most of the season.
It's between him and Travion. And Travion has been behind Ramon.
I don't think Ramondre going to be there next year, so.
I don't think so either.
And this is with Quayshawn Junkins missing, the first 3 games of the season? Yeah.
2.
All right. The last 6 games again. The Browns have averaged 99 yards on the ground. They have a total of 595 yards, 3 touchdowns. Not that impressive in the last 6 games, right? The Bears' rushing defense, we've talked about it ad nauseum before. Bears' rushing defense has been bad at times. They let Josh Jacobs look pretty impressive last week. I mean, he didn't kill us, but Bears didn't stop him at all, especially that crucial
I was going to say
drive
a lot
in
of
the
the
fourth
Josh
quarter.
Jacobs yards came on about 2 carries. He really did it.
I mean, he got a lot of yards after contact. He was moving forward all game.
Well, he ran for about 83 yards though.
Yeah, you can say most of the yards came on 2 carries, and I mean that wouldn't be a misnomer. I mean that wouldn't be a lie, but he was imposing against the Bears defense.
He definitely was tough in a lot of short yardage situations.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely was running angry, and it was more the timely runs than just running down our throat. I get what you're saying. It was when we really needed a stop. Jacobs wasn't getting stops.
The Bears are 27th in the league against the rush. They are 132. They give them 132 yards per game. Scale of 1 to 5. Do you think, scale of 1 to 5, where's your confidence level with the Bears being able to stop Quayshawn and the Cleveland Browns rushing attack?
A 2. I think we can hunker down like we normally do in the red zone. But Quayshawn he's a Josh Jacobs clone. Big physical guy. Think he's got a little bit more speed than Josh Jacobs. But that guy's hard to stop. 2.5. I mean, he's going to
be cold.
Get plenty of opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And you know they're going to run the ball. You know in these weather conditions, so buckle up. Is TJ healthy? Because he seems to pop up on the injury report. I didn't hear you call his name.
Not on the injury report.
Ooh,
nope, not on the injury report.
Cody Good?
Cody's not on the injury report either.
Grady Jarrett Good?
Not on the injury report.
Let's bump that up to a 3. I'm going to give my boys a chance.
We say all this, and somebody else that wasn't on the injury report last week missed the game because, you know what? I'm not putting that juju out in the air. So because this game is definitely going to be won by the more physical team, and I know it's football. The more physical team wins every game. But because I think this game is played in such extreme weather conditions, it's even more so a thing. Quayshawn Junkins, he is a big body, and he runs behind his pads, as all of our Pop Warner coaches try to teach us. We're going to need TJ Edwards out there roaming free and making his presence known. I want to see a better game than TJ played last week. I don't think TJ had a bad game last week, but I mean, I need to see a better game. I need the Bears as a unit to tackle better. I need them to be the more aggressive team on Sunday. It was cold against the Packers. This is going to be a lot more colder than that. At least 10 degrees off the top. Their attacking performance last week in the clutch moves his way until this week. The Bears going to be in trouble. I said this is going to be a trap game. This is their season right here, Q. Let's talk about the last thing we want to do before we get to our prediction. You mentioned earlier in the show about the over-under. 38.5 right now for DraftKings. You said you think Vegas doesn't predict that the Browns can score the ball, right? 7 times total. 4 times this season, 3 times last season.
Okay. My CPS was
in the last 30 games, they scored 20 points, over 20. They scored 20 or more 7 times. It's a bad offense, Q. Even with Shador Sanders, I think it was an upgrade, actually, over what they have been doing. Joe Flacco, Gabriel, what's his
Dylan
name?
Gabriel.
Dillon or what? Dylan Gabriel. Shador Sanders is an upgrade. Quinshon Judkins is an upgrade. They're going in the right direction. But the offense is still who they are. The Browns are still who they are. And if you were betting, I would look good and hard at that over under number, because it might I would look good and hard at that over under. It might hit the under. The under might be in play in this game based on the weather, based on these two teams that are playing. The Bears, remember, we've talked about the Bears a lot this season as far as their offense, even though their passing offense has been a work in progress. As I've said on this show before, I think it's the thing that's holding the Bears back. They're still top 10 in offense as far as points per game is concerned. Almost 26 a game. The Bears just hit their average. If they just shoot their normal 26, the Browns shoot their normal of 17. The Bears win this game easily. So let's talk about our prediction.
I'm going to go with a methodical game, cautious by Ben Johnson, couple explosive plays, Monangai and Swift both over 70 yards, and the Bears pick off Shador twice, sack him 4 times, and get out of there with a 24-10 victory. Bear down.
I'm going to go 2010 in favor of the Bears, sort of, close to where you was at. The weather's going to be bad for both teams. Both teams got to play in the elements. The tougher teams are going to win. And I want that to be the Bears. I want Cleveland to be thinking about Cancun. I want the Bears to be thinking about the playoffs. And that's what's got to lead both teams in that direction where they're going to go Sunday. They're going to step out there on that lakefront. I'm like, damn, it's cold. And I need Cleveland to just say, you know what? We only got to do this for a couple of more weeks, and I'm in Mexico. I want the trajectory of both teams to loom heavy for both squads. The Bears got unfinished business. The Bears got to finish what they started, and that's a season that's headed towards the playoffs. Cleveland, they know where they're going. They're still rebuilding. They've been rebuilding ever since they got rid of Baker. Bears win 20-10. It's going to be an ugly game. But I need the Bears fans to feel good. Even the ones that's going to show up, don't make them show up in vain. I've been there. I went to a Sunday night football game that was freezing cold, and the Bears didn't show up.
Which game was
Bears? It? Oh, it was. I want to say it was in the 90s. Oh, it was a long time ago. And I promise you, I promised at that point, I was like, I would never fucking watch the Bears live again. Even as a shorty, I would never do this again. They get their ass whooped, and I am freezing my ass off. I can't do it. But for everybody that do it, I know the Bears is going to show up for you. 20-10, Bears get their 10th win of the season. First time double digits in the win column since 2018. Bear down.
Bear down.
Yeah, I still don't understand what Lil Rob meant by when he said he woke up sore. That was crazy.
Thanks for listening to this latest episode from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan Channel. Don't matter if you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watch it on Twitch or YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And to all the guys from Chicago, we say 3 things. Bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry.